Hello, everyone. My name is the YouTube Schizophrenic, and today my guest is Kaylee / the Adorkables, also known as Just a View.
Oh, the legit for real dangerous view.
Oh, dangerous view as well. Yes, of course. Very dangerous. I will be on my guard throughout this interview. She has been known to screenshot and record you to try and get you thrown in jail. I suggest everyone in the chat be equally alert.
Yes, don't say anything incriminating in the chat. Oh no.
So, do you want to get into that? Like, why are you so dangerous? I mean, what did you do to earn that reputation?
I haven't really done anything except be around when shit goes down and RSN is trying to be like, I'm innocent on all of this stuff, and he's really, really, really not. Like the stuff with the Harvard Chicky. First of all, Harvard Chicky had started with 2 court cases against RSN. One was a civil suit because she loaned him over $4,000 for getting his teeth fixed, which was something she was like really uh, empathetic about because she has acute renal failure. So she ended up losing her teeth through her illness, and then she had to get dental implants, which failed, so she had to keep on getting them in. So she spent a lot of time completely toothless, and uh, she's like a really, really, really pretty girl. So it was a hard hit to her self-esteem and everything else like that. So she was very sympathetic to RSN having dental issues. So she loaned him the $4,000 for that, and it was like a full kind of repayment plan that they wrote up and everything. So it just wasn't out of the blue, and they had a relationship beforehand. Like she went to his house, he went to her house. They were hanging out in real life. This wasn't just an internet thing. And was it? He they got into a tiff, and was it about drugs and stuff because he's a user, and was it one of the times she went to see him, she left her alone for hours while he went and got high. So one of the other times they hung out, she partook. She took 2 Percocets, which made her sick to her stomach, and she was not in her right mind. She wasn't up to really doing anything. And Arson was pressuring her to give up her prescription Xanax pills so he could go get more drugs and stuff. And eventually she caved in because she's puking, she's on the floor, she's not really cognitive ability right then. So, but he's like, give me a second to count the pills, and he just grabs the pill ball from her and disappears and comes back with way, way less. And that put her in a bad position because normally she tries to not use all of the Xanax pills, so she does have spare to give, but she didn't have that much spare. So she was in trouble with that and freaking out because she needed that medication. Luckily, she was able to talk to her doctor and get like a not specifically Xanax, but a good substitute because she had a good following with him. Mm-hmm. So she was okay, but the fact that he did that to her was really bad. So they had it out, and was it weren't really talking or anything, and he still owed her all of this money, the $4,000, and he was putting pressure on her to not talk about the case, about what had happened or talk bad about him or anything, or he won't pay her back. And I can show you like there's a stream where she was talking about that too. And was it? Sorry, I'm not very organized with timelines and stuff, so it's hard to go through.
I'm horrible with dates myself, so I remember the order of things, but not necessarily the.
I'm
Exactly.
mostly bad with words. I'm better at like writing things out in text because then you can like reorganize it after the fact. Be like you write it out and be like, no, this was happened before then, and then cut and paste, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's what it is. But it'll just take me a little while to organize in my head before I say it. So where was I? She was being pressured not to talk about any of what had happened or anything, and he was holding this money over her head, and they had a phone call which he recorded illegally, where he was pressuring her with that, and there was accusations that he had stolen from her that had gone out. So he was pressuring her on that, being like, did I steal from you? And apparently she said, I don't know, but he altered the tape and cut out the I don't know part to just be like no. And it's like very abrupt. And if you know Harvard, she has complications from her illness, which makes her very slow speaking, like a drawl. So that is very not
I
something.
noticed. I noticed in her GoFundMe thing, people were accusing her of being drunk because of that.
That it's been happening for years, and it's
Yeah.
because of her illness, not because she's high or anything.
Okay. All right. Because I know that's one of the things that's been said and it's been going around for a while. But continue.
Yeah. So he did this, and there was other stuff that was talked about too. I don't know about all of it because I wasn't around at the time because I was staying out of all things RSN because he's just a headache. I found all of this out afterwards, and I only got parts of it from the Holly and Deadstream and from what Harvard said, which just hasn't been much because she's trying to be tight-lipped about the court case and stuff. But what is it? So he was then he released that call, altered call, to try and say that he didn't owe her because she had said that he didn't steal from her. That was somehow proof that he didn't owe her.
Okay.
That
So he makes this doctored footage basically. He edits it out so it looks like she's admitting that she doesn't owe any money.
but his
Or he
word
doesn't owe.
wasn't even owe. It was, does she think that he stole
Oh, okay.
from her?
He
That was
stole
the
from her. Okay.
wording he used. So it doesn't even make sense because steal is not did you loan me any money? That's two completely different things. And there was another reason why the word steal was used. So,
Yeah.
was it? And there was something else that happened too. Like she had noticed that there was a large amount of money from her PayPal missing, and she didn't know where it had gone. So she had suspected arson because he had been on her accounts before with YouTube and stuff because he was helping her set up be fancy with the YouTube streaming and stuff that she wanted to do. So there was automatic suspicion from her friends like me. I was suspicious of that. That wanted her to look more into that, but I don't know what happened with that. But anyways, that was like one of the accusations that was going around that would have pertained to the did you steal question. Okay, what else was there? So after this, he owed her money and she was keeping quiet, and he still was not paying her. Like he was paying her like $40 when he should have been paying something like 200 or 250. I forget what it was. So eventually she's like, okay, screw this. I'm not getting the money anyways. So she stopped being silent and she took him to court. And so that was the first two cases. The federal wiretap case and the was it the civil suit, which was over the $4,000 that she had, the written up loan and everything else like that to prove that it was a loan. So she went to court, and he pulled a bunch of crap with her. Like he had gotten an RO on him with the wiretapping case and stuff because he was using his platform to harass her, and specifically the illegal wiretap, the illegal recording that he outright doctored, according to her, allegedly, I should say. But anyways, it was a bad doctor job. Um, but oh my gosh, sorry, I'm so bad with words.
Sorry. You said he was using his platform to harass her using the doctored thing, and she tried to get an RO on him. Is where you left off?
Oh, she did get an RO. To this day, that RO is standing. He didn't like it, I guess. He tried to get an RO on her. He didn't have anything actually that could stand, though. So he made something up. He said that Harvard Chicky was calling him at all hours and sending him death threats over the calls and over in YouTube comments and stuff. There's a stream where she actually read out the affidavit that he signed on her. And he, as proof, he showed this call log saying that, and coming from her number for the calls and stuff. So he managed to get the RO passed on her, and that freaked her out because she didn't make any of these calls. So she was scared that if he went this far, he could just say that, make it up again, say that she called again, and get her thrown in jail. So she was staying in a hotel at the time to avoid going home because she was scared that he was going to go a step farther and get her arrested. So, but when she actually got into court, she was able to prove her case and get the RO thrown out because she showed her service records, that service provider records that showed that she didn't make any calls. So those calls had been spoofed. And
So
because he
yeah, go ahead.
so and because he had said that Harvard was giving him death threats over this, it's not like it could have been someone else random calling him. He made an actual like accusation that it was her giving him death threats. So
this isn't really up for debate. This was proven in a court of law that he spoofed her number and fabricated court evidence.
he hasn't been through the actual court cases for perjury and falsifying evidence just yet, but Harvard is able to prove her case enough to get his RO on her thrown out completely and to start up the actual criminal court cases.
Because yeah, that's some pretty serious stuff that to actually have go down.
Yeah, it started court cases for perjury and falsifying evidence, witness intimidation, witness tampering, abusive litigation. I think that's all.
I don't know what he was thinking. That was probably something that would have been easily disproven.
And it's like it's even more complicated because different things are going to be tried in different states, because RSN is in Rhode Island and Harvard Chicky is in MA, which I think is Mass, right? I'm Canadian, I'm not USA, so I don't know.
Oh, let me look that up real quick. I haven't been there in a long time, so. Yeah, it's it's either Maine or Massachusetts. Make sure I'm correct here.
It's right next to Rhode Island, so I think it's like right above Rhode
Then it's
Island.
Massachusetts, I think.
Okay. I have no idea. All I know is it's right above Rhode Island. That's all I know.
Yeah, it's
But
Massachusetts.
yeah, it's like, so it's a very complicated kind of court cases that are going to be happening, and then the complications with COVID and all that other stuff.
Okay. So has he made any public comments about any of that? Because he says you're dangerous. So like, where do you come into the
He
picture?
can't make any comment about it at all because of the RO and because he violated the RO 3 different times. Like, let's see if I can remember this right. He broke the RO when he did the third party leak thing with Holly Undead. That was considered a third party breaking of the
Yeah.
RO. And then there was the call that was recorded of Spades and RSN talking about the Harvard case, which also broke the RO. And what was it? Number one, for the record, I was not the one that gave that to Harvard, but it's not a bad thing for the person to have sent it to Harvard. Like, RSN was breaking the RO. He broke the law. That's on him.
Definitely shouldn't be streaming things that are going to get you in trouble.
It wasn't a stream thing. RSN records everything that goes on around him and stuff, and people were wondering how Sid Vicious got the recording that he then published on his YouTube, and it's like, well, who was in the call? RSN and Spades, and RSN is known for recording absolutely everything. So
I've
who
heard that.
called that?
Yeah. Well, you're not the first person to
Wonder.
accuse him of recording people. So.
Oh, it's like very, very well documented. Like, there's a conversation with his mom, Mary, that he released, and we have no idea why, because it looked bad on him. But Mary Z, she's awesome. She was like, "Why do you keep doing this with these horrors and getting into trouble?" And it was awesome. And I freaking love her accent. I do not do it justice. It, it it's amazing. It's great.
But the whole thing with you being dangerous, that's because they are under the impression you sent something to Harvard. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen, right? You said that was someone else?
It was someone else, but I wish that I did. I wish I could take
Okay.
credit for that. That is not something to um be mad or upset about someone about, because he broke the RO. That's not on anyone but him.
Well, it makes sense why he would be upset about it, but I don't think anyone else really would.
Uh who cares if he's upset about it? He shouldn't be doing that. He should know better. But then there was the other thing that he did to break the RO that I can't recall right now. I might come back to that later if I remember it later. But
Okay.
it's well established that he broke the RO, so he's like very strict order from the judges, because he got in trouble with the judge. Like, he came in for one of the civil court cases, and he got pulled into a criminal court where the judge laid down into him about what the RO means and what he can or can't do. And
Yeah.
was it he got an a sort of like a suspended sentence or something. Um, Basically, he isn't going to jail for it, but if he is found to have broken it ever again, he's going to get automatic 90 days in jail. And so he can't break that RO again for anything about the case.
So he's on very thin ice, because I notice whenever he gets brought up to him, he freaks out and talks about how he can't talk about that. So serious stuff.
Yeah, he cannot talk about it. And people are coming at us saying, if he can't talk about it, you shouldn't talk about it. And it's like, well, why? He was spreading all of this stuff, breaking the RO. There's reason to believe that he's still breaking the RO in private. And so why can't we talk about it and refute it in public and spread awareness of this stuff, this horrible stuff that he did to our friend? And it's not like Harvard Chicky isn't under an RO or gag order or anything. She's free to discuss, legally free to discuss the case completely. The only reason why she isn't is because she was advised not to, because that might trigger RSN into doing more bad stuff towards her. Like, he already falsified evidence against her and committed perjury, so who knows what else he would do.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. that can get into some serious mudslinging territory right there.
So she's keeping out of it, and she hasn't really been on social media much at all, or talking to people much at all,
Yeah,
including me, by the way. But
yeah, because I did try to find like an interview or something I could go to find information on that case, and yeah, it's pretty hush hush.
I can't. There was one stream that she did with negative reactions that happened just after the first civil case that she won, because she was very, very happy that she won, because she was having like all of this relief because
Yeah,
she wasn't, the
that one
RO
had to
had
be
thrown
retried,
out.
correct?
Yeah, it had to be retried, and by the time it was retried and she won, the other investigations and court cases were underway started, so she couldn't really talk about it anymore. But that
Yeah,
first stream from negative reactions is still up if you ever want to go back and see it.
yeah, I'll definitely look into it. But
And in that stream, she reads out the affidavit that RSN signed.
interesting. Well, yeah. Well, going on from that, from there, like let's just go through like how did you meet Queen of Spade exactly? Like how does that tie into everything?
I forget how exactly I came across Queen. I do remember what we kind of bonded on, because I'm on the spectrum. Like, I have Asperger's. By the way, note on this, I am high functioning Asperger's. I'm not like a vulnerable adult or anything. Like, I can hold my own and stuff like that. So no one has to worry or fight about me, like, or be like, this person is picking on someone with Asperger's, how dare they, and use it as like a dog whistle or something, because I'm I'm good. I am high functioning. I handle myself pretty well, actually. I'm proud of myself, kind
Yeah.
of.
No need to be offended on your behalf.
Yes, I'm good. But
Yeah.
what was it? Oh shoot, what was I saying? Oh my god.
You were about to tell us how you met Queen of Spades.
Oh yeah. So we and she thinks that her daughter is on the spectrum as well. So she was talking to me about that, how she's and she came off as a really, really good mother, by the way, when she was talking to me about all this stuff, about having to advocate for her kid and stuff, because I wasn't diagnosed as a child either. I was only as an adult. But was it but I had like multiple different kind of um not diagnoses, but like I went in for many different times. Like, almost every single school that I went into, they would send me to talk to someone and get evaluated, kind of. But they didn't actually come to any actual conclusions. Like, they would say, like, audio processing disorder. That was confirmed, like, first of all, before anything else, which is actually common on the autism spectrum. um, and they would say that there was other uh, processing issues, because I would take a long time to work through stuff, but I would eventually get the right answer. So they're like, there's a processing kind of issue there. And they said that there was an attention kind of issue. Um, so they would say stuff like that, but they wouldn't say, but because I was like at the cognitive level and that I needed to be and stuff, they're like, it's not necessary to have a formal diagnosis and stuff, and they just put a pin in it for later. They're like, there is concerning stuff here, like she does have a problem, but it's just not worth diagnosing. So was it, and that happens a lot in the school systems, and you have to really advocate to get your kid to get a diagnosis and stuff. So I was hearing this from Queen, and I am like, yes, yes, good mom, I like that. That's something very good. So
So you
I
kind of
was,
bonded over that?
yeah, and she was into
Okay.
the MLM stuff, and there was a past with my mom with MLM stuff, which uh, it annoys me greatly. Like right now, I want to say the good stuff first and then the bad stuff later, because people's opinions get shaped more by the first impression. So right now, her involvement with Avon is that she buys tons and tons of stuff when it's on sale and puts it in a storage facility. But what she does with that is that she donates it throughout the years, um, to women's shelters, and she spends like thousands of dollars doing this, but like she also pays for the storage, which is ridiculous and kind of defeats the purpose of buying stuff on sale. So it's also a headache. It's like, Mom, you're so nice, but you're not very smart in how you're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
was like,
there's that MLM stuff is yeah, it's shady.
uh, it wasn't even the MLM's fault. It's my mom's sense of logic with stuff. It doesn't make sense. But it is something really nice that she did. So it's sort of like a head, face palm moment mixed with feel good moments.
Yeah. So you talked to Queen about the MLM stuff because that's a big thing she covers, and you bonded over the stuff with her child and possibly having Asperger's or autism.
Yeah,
And like, so you all were like, I imagine if you're discussing children, you must be at least somewhat close, right? You were friends, would you say?
yeah. I considered her a friend at the time, and
Okay.
then, was it the thing that happened to drive us apart was the Holly and Dead stream. She was in the chat and she had mentioned something about Harvard. She had joined in with that narrative that Harvard Chicky was asking for donations and stuff, but I didn't even go after her for that. Um, I noticed one day, like later, I'm not sure how much later after the stream it was, but it was like a distance of time after that stream and the Twitter fight that this happened. Um, I saw her in my notifications. Someone had been going at her for Harvard stuff, according to her. So I kind of jumped in and I'm like, hey, wait, what? What is this? And try and get the information. And my intent was to try and fix it. So when she's like going off about these people coming at her about Harvard stuff, I'm like, well, this isn't your fault, but I did see you helping to spreading this information, saying it, repeating it. But I don't think that's your fault. I think it's because you've been in these circles and fed this information. So she was like
Yeah.
parroting, repeating the
Like,
slander and stuff
if
that
she had
was
a personal relationship with RSN Real Stream News, that it would make sense that that's what he would tell her, correct?
uh it it was proved that that's what he said to her with the released call. Like uh relationship aside, was it he was recorded telling her about all of this stuff, so that's proven. But I don't think that call was released at the time of this exchange, though.
Okay. And like, where would you say that things like started to get bad between you? Like, what was the like? Where did the crack start to happen in your friendship?
Um, there was it? She's denied that she said anything about it, and I happened to have a screenshot of it because there was something else that had been said in the chat. Mary Z had mentioned something about Lola messing with RSN's phone. So I screenshotted that and sent it to her in DMs to make her aware of something that was said. So and also in this chat, it mentioned Queen, or sorry, didn't mention Queen. It had Queen saying the thing about Harvard. So I'm like, this proves that you were saying it. And then Queen went off about how I was screenshotting her everywhere and part of her hate mob. And it was just one screenshot. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm not doing this. Like, this, there was a specific reason why I even had that screenshot, and it wasn't to get you, it was to message Lola. So then I took a screenshot of my DMs with Lola, and was it with the timestamp and everything of that screenshot that I had taken to show her, like, hey, look, this was what it was for. It was not taken intentionally to try and come at you with. It was just like a coincidence that I kind of had it, and it proved what I was talking about. And was it? And I have a thread on Twitter that I did that I linked to all of these posts that I made, so you can see that they were in reply to Queen, and you can see the timestamp yourself. Like, it's not even a screenshot of tweets that I'm showing, it's the link to the actual tweets.
I will link that in the chat, and I'll see if I can screen share it as well. We can, I guess, read it out if you'd like.
If you want, yeah.
Okay.
I think we've already covered the timeline enough, but you can see it yourself that these were the types of things that were being said. It wasn't like I was coming at her with like a pitchfork or anything. We did get into a little bit more of a spat over freedom of speech, because she had made a comment that she has freedom of speech. She can talk about whatever she wanted. And I'm like, okay, but other people have freedom of speech to also counter what you say, especially if you're spreading like misinformation and stuff. They have the right to respond to that and give the other information. And the other information that people have is supported with receipts and stuff. So
Yeah. Well, I'm not for sure if she's still in that camp that because she seems to be very anti-cancel culture now. At least that's what she is telling me.
she's always claimed to be very cancel culture, but it's one of those things where she claims she's against it, but she doesn't see how what she does is actually what she preaches against.
All right, I'll put this on the screen real quick and we can scroll through it. Okay. Is there any commentary you'd like to provide as we go through it?
I can go on with the story, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead.
And during all of these exchanges, she wasn't suicidal until it got to a point where she did start to say that she was going to kill herself and stuff. And as soon as she said that, it was like all fights stopped. It was like I was trying to tell her things like her daughter needs her, and reminding her about the advocacy that she did for her in school and stuff like that. Like, very, very far from pushing her to suicide. It was all the exact opposite. But what happened was I was freaking out, trying to turn things back and like deactivate her defensiveness and stuff. And people were seeing me freak out about it and thinking that she was suicide baiting me. So then she said that, Kaylee, you're making this all about you and all this other stuff. And I'm like, no, no, no. It's like everything that I did was backfiring. Like, and I was doing like everything, like I wasn't doing anything bad. I wasn't pushing her to suicide or anything, but the stuff that I was doing to try and help, that I knew to try and help, it was backfiring on me because it was getting people's sympathy for me and not for her, and the attention should have been on her at the time. So I'm like, okay, and she was seeing this and reacting to it. So I'm like, okay, I'm not doing any good here. Everything is blowing up. So for both our sakes, I'm just going to block, and hopefully that will fix things. But this isn't against you. I just don't know what to do, and you can message me if you want to work things out. But for now, block. So, and then not long after I posted that, I was giving her time to read it and stuff. She blocked me before I could block her. Then I blocked her because so it was like a simultaneous kind of block. So, was it? And then I contacted friends to try and get some information to call for a wellness check because I was legitimately concerned about the stuff, because there was a lot of things that she was saying that I felt for back when I was suicidal, that it it came off as authentic to me. So, and was it, suicide is not something that you joke about among me and my friends, because we take it very seriously because of um there was was it my roommate's cousin who was friends with a lot of friends that I had, but I didn't know him. But I had a lot of friends that did know him, but he committed suicide. And what happened after that was there was like a rash of suicide attempts. Luckily, none of my friends actually managed to commit suicide, but there was like a rash of attempts and people expressing suicidal intent and stuff like that. So, and that was like a week of hell for me and my friends. So we take suicide very seriously because of
Yeah.
that.
That's actually like an observed phenomenon, is that like at least in like schools, if one per student kills themselves, like more students follow, like a I don't know, like it starts a little trend.
Yeah, we weren't in
Yeah.
school at the time. Like, was it? This was um years ago, but it wasn't like that many years ago. We weren't in school and stuff, but it was like a circle of friends and where people knew each other, and then uh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it wasn't even like it was that close to the suicide. It was like a month or so after the suicide, and then there was a week of it, and it's but luckily no one that I knew actually managed to die from it, so that that's good for me, I guess. I It's a
Yeah.
complicated situation, complicated feelings, but no one I knew died, and that's the important thing. We just take it seriously. So, what was it?
So you
Was it?
you,
I
you
made
were you were saying that you're about to you looked for information for a wellness check, right?
Yeah.
That's where you left off.
So I got the information to make it easier, and um, I thought that I had that time because she had said something about giving her time to have dinner with her family and stuff before she goes. So I'm like, okay, so I have a little bit of time so I can get the information and call with it. So I did that, and it was really awkward because it's like, hey, so do you know this person? No, they're on the internet. It's it's awkward, and it's not
Yeah.
something that I would want to repeat ever again. Um, but it's not something that you should ever say that you won't repeat ever again, because if someone is in actual danger of this, you do need to make a call for their sake. It's not something that you do for like revenge or something, though. That's a no, obviously. But like, you can't discount all calls as being um, uh, malicious in intent, because there are cases where it is well meant, and for the it's used for what it's supposed to be used for, and it was for that case. And there was it I have screenshots of Queen after that day. She was thanking her friend who called. She said, like she always says, that there's only just one person that called, but there was quite a few different people who called. Because we were talking after we called, trying to see what was up, if anyone knew anything about her, if she was okay, etc., etc. Because the service people, they don't really tell you anything. They just say that the police have been sent and to check up on her. They don't tell you anything else after that. So, was it? We're trying to talk about that. There was one specific friend that went to her and was like, "Please don't be mad at me." And so Queen was like, "No, I'm not mad. You saved my life." And there was a couple of screenshots of her saying that the wellness calls saved her life. So it wasn't something that even she is saying was not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
That's
And
the only call that I have made. I haven't
yes.
called CPS on her. I haven't made cop
Yeah,
calls
she said that
about drugs.
what she claims is that multiple people have sent like I think she said CAS to her house.
Yeah, he says as that, and I've seen screenshots of people that said that they've sent it to her. At first I thought that she was bullshitting on that, but apparently there is some truth to that. It's just that it hasn't been me.
So you're so what we're saying is that she's pointing fingers at the wrong people.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was also curious. I'm not sure about the timeline of when this occurred, but the Beware of Heavy Down subreddit. Do you? I didn't even know that existed, to be honest, until like just before my interview with her. So I wasn't for sure the full extent of that.
I'm not a big Reddit person, so I wasn't around when it went down. Valkyrie would be a better person to ask, or Condemned Turtle. Apparently, because there's a Reddit about spades that's called Beware Queen of Spades, and it's not a hate, like, it's not meant to drive hate towards her, by the way. It's because Queen keeps on making all of these slanderous accusations and stuff. So it exists to counter what she says about people. So that it's kind of like people giving their side of things.
It's like a public archive too, because she likes to delete things.
Yeah. So, actually, I don't think she deletes them on purpose. I think it's like she gets reported and then they get removed, kind of thing.
Oh, Twitter forcibly deletes them?
Forcibly deletes you to delete them in order to get off of the ban thing that they have. So
I've never actually been in trouble with Twitter, so I'm not sure how that works.
I was once when I had it out with Joy. She told me to drink MMS mixed with gasoline and hydrogen peroxide straight from the bottle to make my naturopathic nightmares come true. And I was like, that's telling me to kill myself. And we had it out over whether or not it was actually telling me to kill myself. And we were like, okay, let's let Twitter decide. So we, was it of what's wrong or not. So I got mass reported for any cuss words that I used. Like I used the word bitch in response to her. And then there was like another tweet way back where I had said someone to stop bitching. So that because it had the word bitch in it, it got dinged.
Harassment.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So I had delete those two posts, and there was like a few others that I had sworn in. I actually don't cuss that much apparently, because they were going like way back years, and so
just looking for any little thing you did wrong.
Yeah, but
yeah. Oh, there. Do you want to address the Joy Sparkles thing? Like, I've heard people are saying that you have doxed Joy Sparkles. Now, I haven't seen any proof of that. What exactly is the story there?
I don't even know what the story is there. The only time Joy has been doxed was many, many years ago, and I didn't have her information to dox with. And that's the only time Joy has been doxed. So I don't even know what the accusation is there to
I
address
couldn't
that.
even find anything from Joy Sparkles accusing you. So I'm not for sure where that came from.
I don't know.
Okay. So
I wish
other
I
than
did know.
yeah.
If someone wants to tell me what the hell they're talking about, please.
So like that was your only like real interaction with Joy Sparkles. I didn't remember that was negative. Was that little exchange?
There was something way, way before. Oh gosh, I don't really want to go into the whole storyline between me and Joy. There's been a history and stuff, but like, there's been nothing that I've said that's bad to Joy. Like nothing. Like I haven't lied about her. I haven't. The only time I've been like, "You bitch," was in response to her telling me to kill myself. So that's kind of like an understandable kind of circumstance.
Yeah. All right. Well, if that little accusation, I guess, just came from nowhere and we can't find anything on it, we'll just move on from it. Let's see. Are you in any way involved with the Beware of Queen of Spades subreddit at all?
I haven't even made a post on it. I was linked to it. I was linked to it a few times. I've read through it a few times, but I haven't posted on it yet. I don't really like Reddit. I haven't.
Yeah, I'm not too big on it either. But one of the things that I was hearing was that either in the Beware of Queen of Spades subreddit or the Beware of Heavy Down subreddit is that she actually like got personal information on Heavy Down that got her banned from Reddit in some way. I'm not sure.
Yes. Like I said, Valkyrie would know more about that because she was around and stuff, and she actually got the information to give to Heavy Down to take the actions that Heavy Down wants to take, whatever those are. So Heavy Down has the information now. It's up to her how she pursues it. But
Yeah,
I don't really know much about it. Apparently, like, it wasn't just Heavy Down's information that was leaked, it was her family's, which is why she was freaking out. Because for herself, she's like, I'm invincible. But the fact that her family was doxed along with her made her freak out, understandably.
yeah, definitely. Okay, so
But this is allegations because I haven't actually seen it myself, so I can't say whether or
yeah,
not. I can't
I
testify on that.
I didn't see anything on the Beware of Heavy Down subreddit, any of the archived versions either that looked like that, but I have heard it. So I was curious if you'd
It's
seen
all
anything.
been deleted and removed from Reddit because it was
Yeah.
um, doxing content, but that's why.
Yeah, the specific thing that I heard was that there was something that was in the post that linked to something that had her address. That is what
I
I
don't know.
have heard. Yeah, I don't know either. I haven't seen.
I've heard that too, but I haven't heard it from the people that I know and trust for that. So I don't know how. I don't know if it's just thrown in there or if it's real or not.
Yeah, I
It's
know that.
an
I know
allegation.
that from Heavy Down's side of things, she says that Queen has doxed her to high heaven, whatever that means.
Yeah. Also, I just want to take a note to address this. Doxing is a serious thing. Some people aren't as scared of it as others. Some people, uh, they don't know how serious it is until it actually happens to them, and then they clue in a little bit too late. So, what your personal feelings are on it, if you think it's serious or not, please respect that other people are scared and freaked out about it, and was it they have that right to be. It's not unfounded, and also protect yourself. Like, um,
Yes, definitely.
for Facebook, there's an option to private it, but it's not enough just to private. You actually have to go into the actual settings and change what type of people see what. Like if it's your friends or family that can see what kind of posts on your friends list and stuff like that. You have to be very careful.
Or you can be even more careful and just not have any of that because it tracks you anyway.
That too.
Yes.
But if you do have it, take proper precautions.
Definitely. Now, is there any other cases that you know about of Queen doxing people? Because I know that's one of the accusations about Queen is that she doxes people.
Not that I know of. I'm sure there's probably more in the Reddit thing, but to my knowledge, that's. Oh wait, no, the recent thing with Phoenix. Apparently, she's trying to look up on paid for sites, for databases, information on Phoenix right now.
Like background checking services, like Truth Finder
Yeah,
style stuff?
yeah, that exactly.
Okay. So, as long as none of that gets posted publicly, I don't know if that would be doxing, but that is definitely suspicious why people would be doing that.
Yeah, like she's been making what is it? She's been making threats of legal action, which if she comes at me legally, I have so much proof that I have not done what she said that I can countersue for slander even.
I think in
So
our stream, I think she claimed she was taking legal action against Phoenix.
she's claimed on her Facebook stuff that she's taking legal action against me too. She's threatened that many times. And I'm actually like in her province. I even called her out once because she was claiming that she was filing legal actions on all these other people, but not me. But it would be the easiest to file them on me because I'm in the same kind of I'm in the exact same province. So it's like, I'm the easiest one for you to do this with, but you're leaving me out. And her accusations against me were the most serious, I think. Like accusing me of pushing her to suicide, I consider that pretty serious. So if there is anyone to try and file charges on, you'd think it would be me. So she's like, okay, then I'm adding Kaylee to this, and she's been saying it ever since.
Yeah, she has made threats of calling the cops on internet harassers before. I wouldn't hold my breath on getting anything legally.
Yeah,
But
I'm only. There's like several options why someone would be looking up the private information. One is to dox, another is to call, make police reports or like file lawsuits and stuff. But the way Queen is, I'm actually like scared that it's going to be something worse because she claims that she's been swatted and all this other stuff. So I'm kind of scared that she's going to use that as justification to do it to someone else, to Phoenix specifically. That's
third
the
option
that I
is
have,
that it's
but it hasn't happened yet. So, but
yeah. The third option is that
it's
they're yeah, it is scary. But the third option is that it's for investigative purposes, that she's
yeah.
gonna drop some kind of video and she needs to dig into people's past to do so for whatever reason.
She said something about doing a 5-year deep dive on people.
Interesting.
But the list of people that she had listed beforehand was me, Valkyrie. I'm not sure if Phoenix was listed. Suit was. But she said specifically threatening a 5-year long deep dive into people.
Yeah, and like I don't think Phoenix like makes videos or anything. Like, are they a YouTuber? Or are they just
I've seen some small videos that she's made before, like
okay?
cameos, but they're
I'm
not
just
She's
I've
not like
know
a
that.
serious YouTuber.
Yeah, I know Queen has a habit of, like, in a lot of other videos, they take random people from Twitter, like people who don't really have like platforms or any real way to defend themselves, and they get put in videos. I've noticed that. So it's a little, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a little weird to be doing 5-year deep dives in people who aren't really seriously into the YouTube stuff.
That's a controversial kind of subject because there are people that go at YouTubers unfairly, and you can't really expect them not to clap back and stuff. But in Queen's case, her beef with them is completely not based in reality to start with. Like,
Yeah.
I went through the thing of her claiming that I was pushing her to suicide, and I have posts of me telling her specifically to not commit suicide, to think of her daughter and stuff like that. So, like the exact opposite of what she's claiming.
Yeah, I didn't see anything in that thread that looked like you were encouraging it at all, or that I don't even know how you could come to that interpretation.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that is being that I'm
Yeah.
talking about. It's like I don't know how, and she didn't even accuse me of this right away. She accused me of this like months later. Um, Me and Heavy Down had like a tiff thing, um, because she was going on RSN's streams and stuff, and we had like a previous back and forth, and I was kind of like, "Yo, be careful." And she's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Well, because RSN is a piece of shit." And she's like, "He's my friend. You can't talk to him about that." And I'm like, "He's a piece of shit. I will call him a piece of shit." So she got mad and she blocked me. So I was a little bit mad about that. Not that blocking is that bad of the thing. It's just that it was like, why? Oh, it was a needless kind of fight to get into because I was trying to warn her that like was it she might just be used for content and stuff. And I didn't even say those words, but that was the fear in my head. Like, because I don't want to be mean, but she's an LOL cow. There's only two reasons someone would have her on the platform. If they're like a very nice person into that kind of thing of boosting people up, or if they're in the habit of making fun of people and gassing them up just to tear them down. RSN is not the first. He's definitely the second. So I was worried that that's what was going to happen to Heavy Down. So, and I didn't even really go that much into it. That was literally the exchange. But
Yeah. And looks like it happened to both Heavy Down and Queen in the end. So
yeah. But anyways, there was a story that I was getting to with this. So, uh, when Queen of Spades had her thing with Heavy Down, saying that Heavy Down was suicide baiting her and stuff, I wanted to check in on Heavy Down, but I didn't want to do it from Heavy Down stream, and I didn't want to do it from RSN stream because I had things against both of them. So I went to Suit stream to figure this out, and I had friends in Suit streams. Like there's Amanda Wolfchild and there's Reality Check and stuff. And was it? I've had good interactions with Suit in the past, way back when he was on Twitter. Me and Faded and him had a debate on abortion. Like, he's pro-life, anti-abortion, and I am very, very pro-choice, pro-abortion stuff. But I was like impressed with how he handled the debate and stuff. Like he wasn't mean or anything. It was a good debate. I liked it. So I knew him as like a good kind of guy. So and I liked his previous YouTube content. So of course I would go there to that stream to see what was going on and make sure people are okay and all that other stuff. And while I was in that stream, um, I was hidden by Real Stream News, which I didn't even know he was in the chat, but apparently he was. I found this out because Reality Check saw it, and she's like, "Hey, Sue, um, Realstream News is hiding my friend for absolutely no reason. So I was unhidden. I was like, okay, thanks, reality check. And then later, Queen of Spades comes in and she starts saying that she doesn't really want me there because I was the one that was trying to push her to suicide. That was the first accusation of hers that she had made, that I had pushed her to suicide. And it was like months later. So it was so far away from the narrative of what actually happened, and I was very confused, like, what the hell.
Yeah, I had an accusation leveled my way a long time ago. She said I was part of a scandalous subreddit laughing about her suicide, and like I don't even use Reddit for the most part. So
She did that to you? I thought she was good with you.
she did that in Holly Undead chat a long time ago. I don't even know if she remembers doing it.
Okay.
Oh no, we have a weird relationship. She hated me at first, then liked me, and then hated me, then liked me, then hated me, and then I guess she likes me now.
I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't really communicated with them too much. It's just from, I guess, the things I've done that they've seen.
I don't think me and her would ever be going back and forth or not with like the level of crazy that things have escalated to.
Yeah, with everyone
Personally.
leaking each other's messages and everything, it can get, a little messy. But yes. So you went to Suit Stream about the heavy down thing, and then RSN hid you. And is that when the whole she's dangerous, she's just here to screenshot things and cause problems? Is that when that occurred?
No, that happened like months later because I decided to come back
Oh,
into the streams and chats because I had liked talking to the people there, like the friends I had there. And also, Suit was cool. Like, Reality Check had talked to Suit and sent an apology my way saying that, like, they don't do that kind of thing, the senseless censorship. And I was welcome back. So I'm like, okay. So I went back and Realstream News saw me in the chat and he freaked out about it that time.
okay. All right. Just trying to make sure I got the timeline in order. 'Cause a lot of this is over months, apparently.
Yeah.
If the chat has any questions, feel free to ask.
I haven't even been looking at your YouTube channel. I've been trying to concentrate too much on what I've been saying. I haven't even gotten to it. I need to go look at
Yeah, it can be a little distracting, especially as you're trying to get your thoughts in order.
which I struggle with greatly.
So yeah, I think we covered just about everything. Trying to think. Is there if Queen was here, would you say anything to them?
Hmm?
I just say that because I assume Queen will watch this. Is there anything like a message you have for Queen specifically?
Um, go back, seriously look at the stuff being presented. Is there anything in my thread in particular that she remembers being that isn't there? Take a look at what she thinks she is seeing and try and evaluate her perception on it.
All right. Well, I mean, I definitely think that she has a habit of maybe maybe ascribing intent to things, maybe seeing some things that aren't there, and then kind of running off with it and reacting, shall we say?
Yeah, like how she reacted to the one screenshot, which was just one screenshot, and then she says that there was hundreds of screenshots, and it's like, no, there's one screenshot. Then there was another screenshot of me sending that screenshot to Lola to prove to her that um, there was it wasn't taken to harm her or anything, and that was it.
Yeah. And like I said, would you say that in terms of things with you and Queen that you've been like lumped into the hate mob when you were just trying to help?
She does that with a lot of people apparently. Like she'll make very damning accusations about people telling her to go kill herself and stuff. And then she'll lump people into her hate mob and say that they're doing this too, that they're part of that mob. So
Yeah, and I know that there was some sort of a post going around, a screenshot of a post anyway, talking about a pedo ring, and like, would you like to talk about or pedo baiting? Would you like to like talk about that a little bit? And what?
Oh, hang on a second. There's a screenshot that I want to show you about that. I don't know if you can screen share. I don't mind if you show our DMs, by the way. That's fine. Or at least the bottom part of it.
If you want to post the screenshot to Twitter, I can show it. I can't really share the Discord thing properly.
That makes sense. I'll just go do that now.
Okay. I got your thing open, so as soon as it pops up, I can share it.
Yeah, it's just going to take a while because my internet is crappy.
Yeah, mine's not the best in the world either.
And it's being especially slow for some reason. Okay, yay, now I can tweet.
Yeah, plus because 20 minutes before we went live, the wind knocked out my power, so I'm glad I'm still here.
Oh no. Yeah, we had a really bad storm here last night. Sorry, I have a lot of different screenshots lately because there's been so many accusations and stuff.
Wow. Yeah, that's an interesting problem to have. People keep accusing me of things.
And I have proof to back up what I say too. So at least I have that, but
that's interesting, Retro. Yeah, I've heard similar things that you can ask her questions that she'll claim that you're attacking her.
Where is this goddamn screenshot? It should be easy to find because it's a Discord one, so it's black.
Yes, Ruby Violet. I do know about the screenshot you're referring to and the audio recording as well, but unless there's something else, I think that's actually it.
Okay, there we go. That's the screenshot. There was an accusation. I'll give like the story while you go and bring that up. But there was an accusation on Wiz that he was looking for people with childlike voices to do some pedo-baiting of RSN. That was a rumor. It was based on him asking for a voice actor to do some voice stuff for a video for him. I was the one that he asked to do it, and this was the DMs of him asking to do the clip of it, and it says very clearly that it was to voice mobile kind, not kid, and it was meant to be freaky, creepy. And he mentions that it was for a video, and he describes like the title of video. So it wasn't like a pedo bait of RSN or anything. It was meant to be for one of his freak out horror cringe kind of YouTube vids that he does.
One of those I think they call them like a creepy pasta. Is that what they're referred to as?
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's that is what I've been told as well. And the video exists on his channel, right? That people can just go and see.
Yeah, he ended up changing it a little bit from what it was going to be because of the accusations and stuff. He ended up using the stream where RSN was reacting to the voice clip, because when Wiz was accused of this, he hadn't made the video yet, but he had gotten the voice clip from me. And so I immediately knew that what they were talking about when they said that. And I went to Wiz's defense because it's like, no, this wasn't it at all. And so I posted the voice clip that I had made for the video to vindicate him. And people took that and gave it to RSN, and then he played it on his channel, and he was like, this was something that was leaked. And he added a different kind of uh, not content, context. Yeah,
Context.
context.
Okay.
Context to the voice clip that was never a thing. Like, he said that it was leaked and it was me pretending to be a kid as like a test voicer thing, but that was for the actual video. And you can look at the screenshot I posted at the timestamps and the details in it. It was never a Pedo-baiting kind of thing. That's what the voice clip was for.
Yeah.
And it wasn't leaked. I posted it myself to vindicate Wiz. It was not a leak.
So, just to get this straight, he basically saw the screenshot from the Discord, saw the voice clip, and then somehow extrapolated onto that to turn it into someone pedo-baiting him.
Yeah.
Okay. He also says someone sent him child porn to his email that he showed to Holly Undead somehow.
I highly doubt that he was sent any such thing.
I have my own doubts as well. I've also, like, if you are sent child pornography and you proceed to show it to someone else, is that distribution of child porn?
I don't know. I'm not aware of the laws with that.
Yeah, that's, I don't know. That's a weird thing that I thought about.
The entire thing is very questionable, and
I mean, the simplest solution is that he wasn't actually sent anything.
Yeah, I don't believe for a second that he was sent anything at all from Wiz or anyone else. I think it's just something that he made up to add up on stuff.
Do you think he was trying to hype up this thing for the camera? You know, make it seem like it was way bigger than it was?
Yep.
I mean, I think he claimed police were contacted at one point. So, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if there's been any follow-up to that, because I haven't heard anything about it. As far as I know, that just disappeared, never to be spoken of again.
I don't know. That's I heard that once before, but I didn't get any details on it, so I don't know about it.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Well, I definitely wanted to clear that up because I never found anything that looked like actual pedo baiting. It's just a weird thing that he was going on about in a weird way of framing what was essentially a screenshot and a voice recording.
Yeah. And the voice recording was like, there was nothing really sexual about that at all.
Yeah, to be honest, it didn't even really sound like a little kid. Like, not really.
Oh, also, can I just say how stupid it would be? Because, like, RSN has had me on stream before. I was in his Discord for a while, and both him and his audience recognized my voice. Why would Wiz go to me to try and pedo-bait RSN when RSN could recognize my voice right off the bat?
That is a good point.
Like, even when they played the recording, someone in his chat was like, that sounds like Haley. And it's like, yeah, it is me. I don't
Interesting.
know.
Someone in the chat is saying something as well. Interesting.
Oh, what specifically? Because I've been...
Are you referring to the pedo-baiting stuff? Interesting. I'm not for sure on that. I know that, like, that screenshot from that Discord about the alleged pedo-baiting screenshot went around everywhere, and everyone was speculating everything under the sun.
Yeah, it was something that, because I had the interactions with Wiz, I knew it was false right from the get-go, because he'd been in my DMs asking me to do the voice clip, and he didn't ask me to do anything sexual or anything. He wanted me to be, like, creepy.
And from my interaction,
creepy content, not...
Yeah. And from my interactions with him, I don't think he would try to pedo-bait somebody. He might try to mess with you, but I don't think he would do that.
No, he isn't known for trying to expose people either, so also, there was something someone told me, so I'm not sure about the validity. This is like a down the line kind of telephone game. But apparently he got Mary Z to pose as a 15-year-old to fish out a predator from his Discord or something.
Interesting.
So he was kind of pedo-baiting someone else.
Yeah, that would be pedo-baiting. Definitely. That's a weird thing to have to do anyway.
I don't know.
That's why I don't have a Discord. That's just the level of nonsense I do not want to put up with. Okay. I was told by multiple people that Wizard was going to make it look like myself and Hola were trying to pedo-bait him. Interesting. Well, I don't know who those people are, but at least from what I have seen, I haven't seen anything that looks like that was being plotted. A lot of times I feel like people will fabricate things and spread it around so that other people will pick up on it and then parrot it.
Yeah, you can't really trust what people say that people said, because that's a good way to spread rumors. That's why whenever I say something that I've heard, I specify like that I've heard this from someone else, because it's automatically you don't know for sure if that happened or not, so I can't testify like this isn't something that I've seen firsthand. So
Yeah, I always like to clarify that I don't know if this is true or this is what I've heard unless I've actually physically seen it myself.
yeah, I can vouch for Wiz right now, straight up. There was absolutely nothing about pedo-baiting, and him asking me to do that, it's just a whole bunch of crazy.
Okay. Well, I'm not for sure, Trisha, who was wishing rape on you, but I haven't seen anything like that in Suits Discord. That's interesting. But yeah, if anyone has any screenshots or anything that if I'm missing something, let me know, because as far as I'm aware, the whole pedo-baiting thing is a nothing burger, like the biggest nothing burger I've ever seen, because it comes from just breadcrumbs.
And that screenshot of the DMs, in my opinion, is pretty clear that there was what he was asking for was not anything close to what is being said that he was asking for.
Okay. Well, okay, that's what they're referring to. Okay. Well, I'm not for sure about that. I haven't seen anything like that, but yeah, if there are screenshots that add on to the pedo-baiting thing, it definitely let me know, and I can look further into it. From everything I have seen, it looks like the whole thing was just. This is the stuff that RSN has showed as well. It looked like there was nothing there. So, but if there's any questions in the chat, do feel free to drop them. Kaylee, is there anything else you'd like to discuss?
Queen of Spades did bring up personal stuff about me, but she got everything about that she said about me wrong. Like, she said that I had never moved away from my house. I was in my own basement apartment for 7 years. Previously to that, I had to stay home, and like after high school I had to get right to work, because I was supporting my mom and little brother, because his dad is a mess and wasn't providing child support, and my mom let him get away with it because he was a pathological liar, and he'd go into these things like I have cancer, but which, by the way, he even like many years that I've known him, he's claimed to have cancer. He's never had cancer. Like, he's claimed to have brain cancer, throat cancer, stomach cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer,
Oh,
lung cancer, like
that's
a whole big list. And when my little brother was in middle school, he even went to the school and told them, "Oh, I have end stage leukemia and all this other stuff." He's never had cancer. He's never gone for any cancer treatments. It's all a lie. But he used that to get out of paying child support. So what ended up happening is I had to be the main breadwinner to raise my little brother. And then as soon as my mom was like, "I'm getting remarried," I am like, "Okay, tap out. I can have my own life now." And then I tapped out for 7 years. And then I found out that my mom's hoarding problem had gone out of control. So recently I've moved back to address that and try and clean up the house and stuff. And that's a serious issue and a personal one I didn't really want to go into. But I also feel awkward about having to be an adult and moving back home. And it's not through anything that I did. Like, I'm not a drain on resources. I'm the one that has adulted up and uh, being the provider, the adult, and done stuff.
yeah. And like did you share this with them privately and they made it public, or?
I shared it with them privately, and then on one of her videos about me, she made a claim that I um, uh, lived at home, and she made it sound like I was a drain on resources and never been out on my own and stuff. And it's like, no. Number one, I was out on my own for 7 years. And I was actually like able to get myself out of debt in those 7 years because living on my own was a hell of a lot cheaper than having to pay rent and groceries and pay for dental for myself and my little brother and vet bills and all the stuff that I was paying for while I was living at home. Like, it was a lot cheaper living on my own. So
Okay. So would you say that she aired your personal business publicly and mischaracterized it? Is that what you would say
yeah,
happened?
that's exactly what she did. And she
Okay.
also said that the only relationships that I had were online, and that's also mischaracterized. Like, I've had a few online relationships, but they're not even most of the relationships.
All right.
I have had relationships in real life. Like, have you seen me? I'm not some like ugly duckling or something. I can get guys. I have big, huge boobs. Just saying.
I'll take your word for it. I haven't actually seen your appearance. They're talking about Wizard, but
Yeah.
yeah. Like I said, if there's any questions you have for Kaylee, do let me know.
Wait, Trisha, didn't say shit to you. There was something that happened that I actually want to clear up. My parting remark to you wasn't to dig anything in. It was just like a summary because I was going to say, this is the summary of it. Agree to disagree and goodbye. But was it? I guess I didn't write the other parts of it fast enough. You had reacted to it and blocked me, so I couldn't really get into it. But there was like nothing bad to you, Trisha.
Yeah, I'm not for sure what they mean by rape memes and all of that. I'm out of the loop. So
There was a picture of two guys having sex, and Wizard posted RSN's face onto the guy that was doing the pitching, and Deity's face onto the person that was doing
oh
the receiving.
oh, I know what that is. Yeah, I actually stole that and repurposed it and used it for one of my streams. So whoops. Guess I'm yeah. Okay. Okay. As long as I know where that's from. That's interesting. But yeah, is there anything else we really need to get into? I think we covered it all, just about.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. If there's any, like I said, if there's any questions for the chat from the chat, do post them. I'm keeping an eye out. But yes, would you if Queen is open to it, would you be interested in like actually having a discussion with them? You know, maybe.
Number one, I was like scared before coming on here, but once I started talking to you, I calmed down a lot, so it's been a lot better. But Queen is like another level of kind of scary. I don't even know about that. I would do a tentative yes, but reserve the right to back out at any second if I felt scared.
Yeah, I've heard she likes to scream at people. That's what I've heard. I haven't witnessed her screaming at anyone yet, but I have heard that happens.
I haven't seen her do it on a stream with someone, but she does scream on her videos, so that might be what people mean. She might have screamed at someone on stream, but if she has, I haven't seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen her like get mad and start screaming at people. No. But yeah, I think that if we got everyone to calm down, we could probably hash this out, I should say.
I think you're very sweet and very naive. I'm sorry.
Crazier things have happened.
I appreciate the effort.
But yeah, they're just still going off about Wizard. So, but all right, I'll probably wrap this up here. But yes, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. Cause like I asked to go on, and I'm like, and then I delayed with replying and stuff. But yeah, I asked to come on, and you let me come on and say things, and you've been very nice. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. And like I said, you're welcome to come on if there's anything else that needs to be addressed or anything else that needs to be covered.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you all for joining me. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as is tradition. And I will see you all next time.
Okay, bye.
Bye.